guys. We are back.
It's been a while.
It
We
is.
haven't disappeared, I promise.
It has been a very hot minute since we've met
Yeah,
and chatted all things books and stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah. So I've got a blanket because my bedroom is freezing. So we're in the cold season.
yes,
So I have a blanket with me. That's fine. Yeah, I still am not fully back to normal, but I was able to sit at my desk. So before I had mentioned, like, because of my surgery, for those of you who don't know, sitting upright scrunches the wound and it hurts. And I finally gotten where you can feel like underneath the scarring, the scar tissues kind of starting to form underneath. I'm still cut open on the front, but I can sit upright. And so my brain decided to delve into writing again. And it's also NaNoWriMo. The official NaNoWriMo website shut down last year because they supported AI, and the whole competition of writing 50,000 words in 30 days is still like our holiday, so I'm still claiming it. Novel November is what it's being called now, I think, and I think Pro Writing Aid and Readsy are doing their versions of it.
okay, cool.
um I'm kind of like, when I write, I sort of disappear and I just
That makes
write
sense.
and I don't do anything else. But I have two audiobooks that I'm going through for my narrators. My friend and I was finishing up the Kickstarter. I got that sent out, and then the same week I had to prep for a book signing with my author friend H.A. Pruitt. We went to Lebanon, Missouri. Hannah was there. It was a
Yep.
fun success. I actually surpassed my record of sales, so that was exciting. But prepping for that took a lot of work. That did take a lot out of me. And then because I'd met up with my editor and the Kickstarter was over, I got to pay her, and now I hired her to edit some more books. And she had a book that I forgot about that she had just held on to because we hadn't had a chance to meet up because of my surgery. And so she's like, "Here's your
I
book." I'm
forgot
like,
about that one.
"Oh, edit this thing now." So I've got that one. I've got the Valiant book that's after the Survivor, now that Survivor's kind of launching tomorrow. So I'm trying to edit, trying to do the audiobooks, trying to write, and I'm just back into working again and just no time to do anything. So I've been reading maybe like one page a day. Um, so yeah, that's been my life lately. How's yours going with the
um,
holidays coming up and the kids being crazy?
yeah. So this week we have we're reviewing for kitchen safety test. That's gonna be. It was gonna be Thursday and Friday, but there was
Mm-hmm.
another teen death in our town, little town, a second one this year, which
Yeah,
is crazy to me.
it's tough.
The roads are dangerous.
Honestly.
Like, genuinely, drive carefully if you are of the age that you can drive. Please be careful. I promise. Even
Yeah,
if you don't think it will happen to you, it could happen to you. So please be careful. But
yeah.
so we were one of the classes was going to test on Thursday and one was going to test on Friday because eighth grade had a field trip. I'm not on Thursday. I'm not sure how that's going to look. I don't. I think they'll just have to not go this year. Maybe I don't know. But
That's kind of fun. Right.
yeah, but so they're testing on kitchen safety on Friday, which means we talk about appliances next week, which means the
Mm-hmm.
Friday before Thanksgiving break, I have two eighth grade classes making puppy chow, and then um, a seventh grade class making mini pizzas. So
That
that's a
sounds
thing.
fun,
Yeah.
or messy.
Oh
It
yeah.
sounds like it could be messy though.
Yeah. Which but also because school's canceled on Thursday, that also means I have to go grocery shopping after school on Wednesday or Tuesday.
Oh, and you have church on top of that, so that's going
I
to be a
probably
little,
just wouldn't go to church that night. Um,
yeah, it's going to take you a while.
yeah. I look half
Wow.
crazy when I go by for labs because I've got two eighth grade classes that cook and then one seventh grade class that cooks. And one
Hmm.
has the one eighth grade has 15, the other one has 18. No, 17 now because one girl dropped. And then so I split them, each of those classes get split up into four groups, so it's like eight eight recipes, so I have to take a recipe and like multiply it by eight, and that's what I buy
Oh
groceries
my
for.
gosh, that's a lot.
So I yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. So I go and I buy like 8 bags of chocolate chips, and I look so stupid in the grocery store. And it never fails when I get up to the checkout and I hand them the tax exempt card, because if you don't know, schools are tax exempt when you buy when you're things like that. And so you just give them the
Hmm.
tax exempt card before you go, or before you start
Right.
scanning everything. And I hand them the tax exempt, and they automatically know what teacher I am, and it cracks me
That's
up because
hilarious.
I'm like, yeah, middle school,
That's
and they're
so
like, that's
funny.
so cool. I remember taking that class, and I'm like, yep. And a handful of them, if they're old enough, they'll ask how many boys are in the class because for a long time, family and consumer science, originally called home ec, was a girls only class. Like guys would take shop and girls would take home ec, and
Hmm.
so now it's like a co-ed thing. Like it doesn't really matter, like guys and girls take it. Like this year, eighth grade class has way more boys than girls, so my classes are overwhelmingly boys this year, and it cracks me.
That's cool.
But
That's
it's cool
funny
that
though.
they have fun with it.
Well, speaking of sounding and looking crazy, when I had to send all my books off for the Kickstarter, I had a lot of people buy bundles. So like one guy had ordered the whole Valiant series twice, plus extras of Immortal and Mortal. So it was 17 books. So we have these big boxes. I can't lift anything.
Mm.
I'm not allowed to. So my mom and my sister have to do it all. And then I have a bunch of single books that people bought. So here we are just making trips into the post office. And I'm like, I prayed. I was like, Lord, please have there be nobody in line. And lo and behold, we walk in and there's lines and it's plumb full of
Mm.
people. And I'm like, this is the worst time. So we had to bring all the boxes over to the side and just start stacking them. They had to go back and make more trips. I
Mm.
had to just like guard the boxes. And then when we went over there, I had to explain to the guy I was doing. And fortunately, he'd done my Kickstarter last year. I don't think he remembered me, but
Yeah.
like he's actually saved me a lot of money on it. And he's like, if there's nothing personal in here, then this can count as media. And it basically
Oh,
lowered the
cool.
price of it all. So he just starts checking out the things one at a time. And I mean, it took a long time, but we finally got through it. But I felt
Yeah.
so embarrassed. I was like, please just like melt into the floor and just make me disappear because I don't want to be here anymore. This is like so embarrassing.
Well, if
But so
you
yeah,
think
that's
about it, anybody
I can
on
imagine grocery shopping with that many people.
anybody that has
Got
like
me
a
grocery.
small business, they'll understand that pain of having to go to the post office and send out like crap tons of boxes.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm like, hey, but it's every author probably dreams of having that experience, so I'm like soaking it in at the same
Yeah.
time too.
Yep.
But it's hard.
For
So,
sure.
but yeah, been interesting. So I am reading Alchemized. I am still reading Alchemized. I have been reading Alchemized, and getting for the last week, I have read one page a day to keep up my reading streak because I've had it the whole year and I don't want to lose it. Um, so I'm enjoying it. There's nothing wrong with it. We have some books that are coming out soon that I'm excited for and I want to read them so I don't feel like quitting this book just to like read something else, just have to quit that one and read the exciting books. Um, so it's a lot darker than I was expecting. I like the mood and the tone and everything. I do feel like usually graphic stuff doesn't bother me. I feel like sometimes the description of like the necromancy, dead
Mm,
bodies gets a
yeah.
little extreme. Um, but other than that, it's really interesting and intriguing, and there's a lot of like world building kind of stuff. It's very different. Um, Honestly, the biggest issue with it I have is it's heavy. Like most people are probably like, yeah, it's not heavy, and it probably isn't. But like I'm still recovering from surgery, and I usually put a pillow on my stomach even without my surgery, and I would put my books on there, and that's how I read any book, any physical book, and that's how I've always read it because it's comfortable. And yet this
Mm.
is so heavy, it hurts. I'm still recovering, so I'm like I cannot read for very long hours at a time. The way that I like to get comfortable. So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm on page, just for reference for you, I'm on page 49 at the scene cut. So I feel like it's dragged on a little bit where it's like it's like really intriguing at first, but now it's like she's still captured. They're still talking. They're still asking questions. There's still more. And so I'm kind
Oh
of just
yeah.
ready for plotline stuff to happen. But other than that, it's
Most
pretty
of the
good.
book is like that, and that was one of the things that some people didn't like about it. And there's like, I don't know, there's some people that loved it. Some people are like, it was a little slow at parts, but it was good. And some people are like just completely crapping on it and like talking crap on it. And it's just like there was one review on Goodreads that was, it kept showing up at the very very top of my of the page
Always
for
does
me,
that. I hate.
and
Uh
it
huh.
was like so irritating. And it's like I hate it when people, it's not, it like people overemphasize the romance part it is not a romance novel. The aspects that I love about it are not the romance. Like their romance is, it's weird. It's weird because it's still an integral part of the story, their relationship, like their coexistence with one another, but it's like, it's not like a Zayden and Violet type of romance. It's not like a Anakin and Padme style romance. It's not like it is very, I guess it could be kind of mirroring Anakin and Padme if Padme lived after episode 3. That's how I would describe it. It's like if Padme still lived and she was trying to coexist with Anakin against her will, that's how I would mirror it in this story.
I can't tell you how many times I've dreamed up that fan fiction. That fan fiction has lived in my head for a long time, so the concept is intriguing. I don't even know who the person is gonna be because she's still just captured,
and
there's just
it's like the villains of the story, the bad side of the story is most definitely bad. There's no going around that. They're horrendous, but at the same time, the good side's not always good. I wouldn't say that they're a good side. I would say they're the side of secrets and deceit and manipulation. And
I'm getting the vibe right now that it's like religious trauma and like the theme of like religions being bad and trying to control people and like that whole, because there's a lot of like the faith suppressing the other people that they don't agree with, and so it's like a religion is bad kind of theme, kind of vibe sometimes when they talk about it.
That,
at least
like,
from the other
that's
people's POV.
Definitely in the background for sure. Like for me, that was more in like a background thing. Like it was there, but it wasn't like what my main attention was focusing on, I guess. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm still in the beginning, so it's still explaining things.
Yeah.
So
it like the beginning part, the meaty stuff starts like as you get into like as you really get into the story, probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know what.
Like, there's not a whole lot to focus on right now, so it's like the very beginning. Yeah. And when you're talking about 1,000-page book, the introduction for a 1,000-page book is probably going to be like, I mean, you could go the first 100 pages in a 1,000-page book, you know, and still be kind of in the beginnings of a plot. So
I forget what chapter. So
yeah, it definitely feels a little bit more sci-fi than fantasy, though, for me. Like, because the way that the magic system works, like, kind of gets a little science-y, which is kind of interesting, and it's a really interesting blend of stuff, like, of genres and subgenres.
So, chapters 1 through 21 are present tense. So that would be, like, the first chunk. Like, to page... Part 2 starts at 278. That's where, so part 1 is present tense, and then from there it's when you really kind of get like the plotty stuff, the plot line stuff going. It's like it's establishing, like, there's almost 2 different timelines going on. Like, you have the present tense timeline, and then you have where they go back 4 years and start explaining what she's like, explaining things. And then
the mystery of her not knowing. I
and
figured they were going to fill in.
And it works its way back to the present, if that makes sense. But I can't give
really
you any more details other than that. But
yeah, I like it. So
it's definitely like a slow, like the pacing is definitely a slow pacing book for sure. And like the beginning of the book, it takes it a little bit to get through the beginning parts and getting the 2 of them established and getting things initiated.
Yeah, I can see that. I know after I finished The Last Letter, I think we'd had this conversation off screen one time where, like, The Last Letter was a very serious book. You had just come off Alchemized, and it's a very serious book, and it's really hard to jump from a serious book to something that feels less, if that not necessarily less, but just not as serious in tone.
It's a simpler story.
Started Alchemized,
take simpler stories.
Yeah, and like when I first started Alchemize, it fit my mood, and I don't know if my mood has changed, and I'm not looking for like a comedy or anything, but I'm just like I don't know if I'm like something is heavy. Like I don't know if it's just my mood or like
I think it's just
the
because you're
descriptions of like
anticipating.
the necro
I
songs.
think it's just because you're anticipating several other books coming up soon, and because you're only able to
Yeah.
read like a page a night, you're just losing interest in it
Yeah. That's could be what it is.
because it's
Especially when
taking
you're
you
reading
longer to
to
get
like
through
the
the
people
beginning
read.
established bit, like the in beginning
Yeah.
bits. So,
And as opposed to just like binge reading through that part in one night and then you'd be done with, the slower bits.
yeah.
But yeah, the description of the necrothals and some of the dead people and stuff, like uh that was my big issue with
Mm-hmm.
my brain went blank. Um
Mm-hmm. Songbird in the Heart of
the
Stone.
Krista Broadbent, yes, those
Mm-hmm.
ones. And then I got into them and they were fine. But even that, they weren't described, they were described creepy, don't get me wrong, and it was really intense, but like they weren't described as creepy as they are in this one. Like this is like, you're actually
She's very
describing like the
descriptive.
decayed body and the different body parts, and it's very grotesque. Like it's actually like classified as gothic horror as one of the little
Mm.
um
Yeah.
genre taglines on Amazon if you look at it. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a little bit more than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But
Which I
it's
guess like
that.
it's
But like you
like
said, the bad guys are
it's
very bad.
yeah,
So
and I think like it's I don't know. It's just that I guess my brain just didn't latch on to that as much, so I didn't think to even mention that when I was explaining it to you.
yeah, I
Because
will
like
never
my
forget. I was
I don't
playing.
know,
I told you this
it's
at the
weird
book
how my
signing.
like what my brain focuses on when I read. Like I couldn't even
It's
tell you what
different
it
for
focuses
everybody.
on. So it's like blood and
Yeah.
gore and like cussing, that kind of stuff. My brain just kind of skims over it most of the time and it doesn't
Mhm.
really.
Usually gore doesn't bother
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, that's why it's weird that my brain was latching onto it. But also, she's kind of, it's not really a hospital setting, but it kind of is like a bad hospital setting, and so my brain maybe latched onto it
Mm.
a little bit more because I'm fresh out of surgery, I guess. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
But it was so funny. I told you this at the book signing, but it was the most unhinged I've ever had. I was playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is like you go to Disney and you have all these Disney characters, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not kidding. I was fishing with Goofy is the most childish thing you ever
Oh,
could have
that's
imagined,
funny.
and that's the video game that I'm playing. And then I'm reading Alchemized and reading all this like blood guts gore, and I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. And it was just so funny. So that yeah, that was me. But I've never watched Full Metal Alchemist, but I know the alchemy is like metal alchemists, kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar to this, and so I'd be curious to see if it's like if there's similarities there.
Hmm.
Which I've been meaning to
Yeah.
watch Full Metal Alchemist at some point, but it's like the some of those, and then the Mancy aspects of the like magic system reminds
Mm-hmm.
me of Nalani Singh. What is that book? The um one of her books that I read, I jumped into a series not knowing it was a series, and I read one of her books and
Oh,
I
okay.
liked it, but it had this whole world established, and
Gotcha.
hers was like a psychomancy, and it was like in the head, like in the mind, dealing with the
Oh.
pyromancy. I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm
there's
pronouncing it right,
fire,
but there's a lot of
pyromancy,
mancies.
pyromancy type of
Pyromancy I
thing.
think is
Yeah.
fire, but it was like pymancy,
Pyromancy?
something
Was
like
it
that.
pyromancy? No.
Pyromancy is fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
But yeah,
it
it was
is
like
definitely how it includes that
like
too. It's like a mixture of like metals and that kind of stuff too.
yeah. And so in that world, she had a lot of like head people who
Mhm.
could mess with your head, kind
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
mancy people.
Yeah,
So
that
for the
happens and
mancy,
yeah.
um, so it's like it got reminded me a lot of that. So and then that one, the guy was in kind of a lab situation. So I was like,
Mhm.
I like this is like really fascinating to me. So,
Mhm.
but now I'm actually getting hot, so I'm gonna have to take my um blanket off. But that's okay. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been reading. I did get a book. So I saw this at Walmart. We couldn't buy it at the time because we didn't have the money. And then I ended up having some extra money had come in from Amazon or something. So I was like, I'm gonna order this on Amazon. So I ordered the hardback and I had an extra credit on Audible, so I got the audiobook. And so I got this book. It's called The Crimson Throne. And honestly, it's like the for me the cover is actually really gorgeous, even though it's mostly like a typography cover, and the hardback too. And I like the sprayed edges are like really gorgeous, the cover's really gorgeous,
Crimson
and then
Throne.
like the interior.
What's it about?
So, okay, let me read the Samson Calthrop's curse has isolated him from everyone he's ever cared about, so when the opportunity arises to break the curse, he grabs it. All he has to do for his freedom is risk his life and become a royal spy, using every bit of the skill and resolve he's picked up on the streets of London to infiltrate the court of the Scottish Queen and uncover a plot to assassinate Queen Elizabeth. For years, Alice Graham has been protecting Mary, Queen of Scots, from threats both physical and magical, including the Queen's own husband, Lord Darnley. Aelith is more than meets the eye, though. The child of a Fey prince and a human mother, she's among the most powerful protectors in Scotland, guardians sworn to defend against the Redcaps, bloodthirsty Fey clan that Lord Darnley is in league with to overtake Scotland. So, a little bit of background. The TV show Reign is about Mary, Queen of Scots, and so minor spoilers later on, minor spoilers for the show, but later on, toward the last season, she finally gets to go back to Scotland, and she has to marry a guy named Lord Darnley.
Okay.
And it's a historical fiction. That
Oh,
show is there's
cool.
nothing supernatural or fantasy in it,
Mm-hmm.
but in that one, like he tries to kill her, and everybody hates Darnley, and it's so bad because she had come off of like the whole romance for the first part of the show is her love with Francis. So obviously clearly something happens there, and I won't spoil it, but it's so horrible, and in real life that's kind of the real history of it.
Yeah.
And so I hate Darnley. And so when I saw that, I was like, this is Reign, but with like magic and like Fae, and like, okay, I'm here for the magical twist added to history. And then add to top that, you have a guy who's cursed and trying to break the curse. I'm like, all right, I'm in. So let's do this. And so, yeah, I can't wait to start this book. I didn't want to start it and then have to stop it to read the Vader novel and Brimstone, so I'm going to wait. But this one's definitely going to be like my December read because I'm very excited. And it's got a dual audiobook, so we get a male and a female narrator. So that'll be fun.
Okay. So I was debating on I wasn't sure if I wanted to like geek out with you privately or geek out with you here, so I'll geek out with you here. So over the weekend, my it's like she's been my friend since like grade school, Elenia. So we still meet up like once or twice a year just to hang out. And so it's kind of our thing that we'll meet up a couple times a year, like every like 6 months or so we'll meet up and go hang out and do something. And we went Christmas shopping at Columbia, and most of the mall type stuff doesn't open until like 11, and we had left here at like 9 so that way we could drive and take our time and not have to rush around. And so we got up there at like 10:15, 10:20, something like that. And so Barnes & Noble was already open. I know.
You had time to wait.
So I got me my coffee like normal, and then I went browsing. And you know how I browse. And there's a certain section that I always check, which is the Star Wars section. And there's a certain book that I've kept in my wish list ever since it was pre-order. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to actually buy this. But I splurged on myself a little bit. Are you ready?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Look at it.
Oh.
And it has like it's upside down. The quote about
this is how it feels to be Anakin Skywalker forever. Okay.
Okay, are you ready for the cool?
Fine.
Okay. So the cool part is that comes off. And so the inside, the actual book part is that. I know. So the actual but it gets even better. Okay, it gets better. Are you ready? You're gonna freak out at this. Are you ready? Okay.
I have my blanket ready. Yes.
Okay. So it's like all love in the front, right? Guess what it switches to in the back?
Oh no. Oh,
and I'm like, love to like devastation, and I'm just like, God. Anyway.
It's so beautiful.
I know.
And it's so sad, and now I have a bunch of hair in my mouth because I'm screaming into my blanket.
Okay, and then they have like the opening bit, and it has their faces.
Oh,
and I'm just like,
that's beautiful.
It was, if it was normal price, I wouldn't have bought it. Let's put that fair. Barnes & Noble had it 20% off.
Right, which made it worth it.
In my head, I'm like, there was only one there. And I was like, okay, I'm here to buy Christmas presents, not buy myself stuff. And that was like what was going through my head. I'm like, I'm not here to buy myself things. And I'm like, and I got to looking, and I did the math, what 20% off of 60 would have been. And it was like, with tax, it would have been like, it was like, without tax, it was like 40 something. And with tax, it was like 52. And I'm like, okay, I probably won't have any other opportunities to get it. I probably won't be able to get it on sale any other place, because Amazon won't have 20% off like that. I won't find it in Target, like, at all. And so I'm like, there's only one here, and there was like fingerprints on the dust jacket. Like, several people had picked it up and put it down, and I'm like.
That would be fun to read in preparation for the Vader novel release.
I honestly thought about that.
I have the audiobook too, so I mean that would just be like,
you should listen to the audiobook in preparation.
That would be great.
But I started the Half King, so I almost started that one, but I'm like, well, I don't know. I wasn't sure, and the Half King sounded interesting, so I started that one.
Yeah, I remember I think we bought that together. We were at Target together, and we bought I was like, oh, it sounds good. So
it also has really pretty inside pictures.
I love the art. It's so gorgeous. Okay, so you read the Viking book.
Okay,
let me
get
the book after that.
Okay. So I read this one.
I remember the book after that. Yes, The Fate Inked in Blood. I can never remember the title.
This one was this one is a really fast-paced book, to be fair.
Okay.
It felt pretty fast-paced. Like, things started relatively quickly and went through pretty quickly. Which I was coming off of. It's good. Honestly, it's pretty good. I'm interested in book 2, so I'm going to end up reading book 2. But I came off of the complexity of this. And when I started this, I was just like breezing through it because I was so used to how complex this was.
Right.
I think that's part of why I read it so quickly, because I was just coming off of the high of Alchemized, and it's really good, and honestly it's different, and I think that's another reason why, because I haven't really read any kind of Viking. I haven't read any books that have been like Norse mythology, Viking vibes. I haven't ever read anything like that, and so it was like,
yeah, when I read the opening, it reminded me of Skyrim a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
was it the Vinland Saga?
Yeah,
the TV show.
So essentially, you have people that when a couple is creating a child, it's the PG way I'm saying it, a god will sometimes step in and join. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused on how that works. But a drop of their blood will be with the child, and the child who has a drop of whatever god will have a special ability or power. And so that's kind of like the background of that. And so it's like a Viking style village type atmosphere. So you have like the Jarl, I think he was a Jarl, the main guy. I forget. But he's wanting to be king, and the whole premise of the story is that whoever controls this special person can unite all of the different clans and become king and rule over everybody. Right. And that was like supposedly this like vision, fate type thing that this lady had said, and so that's kind of like the beginnings of like that. And so the journey of like her and this the main guy in charge, he's not the king. I don't know if they call him a Jarl in there or not. I can't remember. Yeah, they call him a Jarl. So it even felt even more like Skyrim, which I know Skyrim was like a split between like both like D&D inspired with Viking-ish type stuff, and like it was like a mixture of those two.
Is like Viking vibes.
Yeah, and so like it had a lot of the Skyrim-y vibes, so I think that there's like a mixture of things. And so it was good. I liked it. I'm interested. Like the surprise at the ending, the information that's revealed at the ending, kept me interested. Like, was honestly part of like, not all of it, but it kept me interested enough that I want to read book 2. I just want to make sure that I'm fully invested in going into book 2. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yep.
So after that, you read
Silver Elite. So
Silver Elite. Right.
Silver.
Like, you're talking about it, I could not remember.
So the Silver Elite started out.
Done with that already.
Oh, yeah. Which honestly, it is a pretty addictive story. I did have some like, let me pull up Goodreads. There was a few issues. I only give it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I think a lot based on what I've read from the other people that have read this book, several of them are agreeing that they will read it, like, addicted to it, and they'll read it really, really quickly. And some of them were hoping that it would be on par with things like other dystopian novels like Hunger Games and Divergent, and a lot of, like, on par with a lot of those kind of stories. But some people were saying it felt almost like it had like a nostalgic dystopian vibe, but it wasn't like a genuine, didn't like live up to Hunger Games standards, I guess, quite. And it's only book 1, to be fair, and book 2 is getting ready to come out, I think.
Okay.
It's actually, there's actually a giveaway on Goodreads right now where you could win one. It's called, the book 2 is called Broken Dove. And it's expected in May of next year, so it's not out yet. But honestly, the main things I felt like I needed more. I wanted more. Okay, there's a lot of similarities to different books, so I think I've told you this privately. But there's like several different fandoms that this reminded me of. Like I had vibes from. It was let's see. Okay, Divergent was the first one with the whole there's like a combat training bit. And it reminded me of like all the training bits with was it 4 in Divergent?
Yeah. Divergent 4. Yeah.
It was like that whole vibe. There's like certain people that are called, so the like, I don't know if it's a country. They live on what's called the continent, which is like post-apocalyptic North America. And so there's like primes and mods. Mods are ones that where this toxic gas bomb thing caused a lot of people to have like this toxic this reaction where they now have abilities, and so those are called mods, and they're kind of being killed off, captured and put in prison. They're killed and stuff. And so it reminded me of Maximum Ride to an extent, like, but not really. But it had that kind of vibe of like special ability, being hidden, can't talk. And I guess that's also Divergent too, in a way.
Yeah, there's the Divergent in that
I guess it would be a little bit more Divergent than Maximum Ride, but for some reason it was like my Maximum Ride kept coming to my brain. But there was like several similarities to Hunger Games. Like there's one scene in particular that was like nearly identical except for the setting and the situation.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned
not really even the situation. It was just like the setting and the context was different, but like it felt nearly identical. And then also it split up into wards instead of districts. And I just felt like a lot of I wasn't really emotionally invested into a lot of the characters. Like, I don't know. There were like the main, outside of the main couple and the main girl's uncle, outside of those main characters and then maybe one extra, like one side character, I wasn't really invested in any of the other characters. And even that one side character, I was only invested in him to an extent. And I just felt like there wasn't a whole lot of scenes with the side characters, you know, like, I don't know. Like, have you ever, like, at least, like, with writing or editing, have you ever, like, edited a book where a character, like, an author needed to have more scenes with a character to, like, build that development, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because it kind of felt like I wasn't heartbroken at certain scenes. And I felt like that's what it was. That's what the author was wanting me to feel. Like, they were wanting me to feel surprised. And there's a lot of plot twists that I called at, like, the first 5 chapters. And you know how I am about not calling those kind of things and being surprised, like, genuinely surprised by things. I called one of the biggest plot points in the first few chapters.
Interesting. It'll be interesting for me to read it. And,
I know.
like,
I'm curious to get your thoughts because it was honestly, it was an addictive story. Like, I liked the setup of it. I liked the setting. I think part of the reason why I liked it so much is because we're both Hunger Games girlies, and it felt Hunger Games-ish, but it also felt Divergent-ish, and so it was like a mesh of the two. And I'm like, I like this. You know, it was like felt very nostalgic, and I think that's part of the reason why I sped through it. And a lot of people have said that they just can't put it down. Like, that's been a reoccurring thing with a lot of people, is like they can't put it down, they have to keep reading. Part of me wants you to pause Alchemize just so you can start Silver Elite, so I can get your thoughts, because I'm so conflicted about this. Like, I
wouldn't say no.
Like, honestly,
I wouldn't say no,
I kind of want you to. I kind of want you to, just so I can figure out if it's just me or what. But I said that the strong similarities to Hunger Games and it also felt very, like, gender bend Fourth Wing.
Okay.
Like,
not sure how I feel about that, but that would
no,
be
it was like gender bend in the sense that the guy is the the son of a general, and the girl.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's like a flipped. It's flipped, and it's also it felt like a very spicy mesh between Divergent and Divergent and Hunger Games. Those two mixed together with spice.
Okay.
And
that's cool.
But with inconsistent character development, in my eyes.
I'm interested just to get my thoughts on that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of
which is a weird thing to say, but honestly, Survivor would be an interesting one for you, from coming off of Silver Elite, because it's Hunger Games meets Survivor, but deadly. And so that would be, I'd be interested to get your thoughts in comparison to Silver Elite, too, see how it.
I did have a really weird, like, moment, like, withdrawal moment, because it felt like a Hunger Games Divergent. It felt like a Divergenty Hunger Games, like, post-apocalyptic United States. So, like, the map at the front. And it took me a second to realize it, and I didn't realize until after I was finished reading it, or towards the end, that the map is actually North America. It's just so, like, it even feels like even more like Hunger Games when I realized that, and I'm like, okay, this just feels like, I don't know. It almost felt like a fan fiction, like, crossover.
Yeah.
Like Hunger Games Divergent crossover fan fiction, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is that when this book first came out, there was controversy with it because the author chose not to put a picture with their name in the back. And there's no pictures. Yeah, and there's no pictures of the author on their socials. So some people were saying, I don't know. There's somebody that suspected that it was, okay. Yes, okay. They put things together. So, A Fate Inked in Blood. So, A Fate Inked in Blood, which is by Danielle Jensen. In the back of it, it says about the type, and it has, like, and it was like, this book is set in Bimbo, a typeface. Okay, I didn't mean to say it like that. Beam.
It's okay.
Anyway, a typeface based on an old style Roman face that was used for cardinal whatever, blah 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 blah. I have no idea what it's talking about.
Typeface.
But it has that.
The font.
Oh,
it's talking about the font.
Oh, okay.
That's used.
Okay, this one also has that same exact thing.
Yes.
But
oh my gosh.
But the thing is that the person that pointed that out, and I wish I could remember their name, but I did not think to.
Yeah.
I didn't think to write it down, because we were talking about it like ages ago. But the person that said they have yet to find a book that also includes that. So if anyone that's watching has a book that also includes that at the end, that would be great.
Let us know.
But so far, I'm convinced that some people think that Danielle
feels similar. Not that you analyze that.
I didn't think to think about that.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna have to analyze it then. We have a new reading plan, guys. I'm gonna read
Silver Elite. Okay, the complexity of the stories would about match out. Like they're not super like, it's not alchemized complexity. It feels young adultish until it gets spicy. Like, that's the way these two books feel. They feel young adultish. Okay, but they're not young adults. They're not kids. They're adults, I think.
It's like new adults.
Like new adult. Yeah. It's like new adult with spice. Like it feels like a young adult with spice. So I guess new adult, like you said. But I could see them being the same.
That's cool.
That was not really planned, by the way. I didn't mean to read those back to back, by the way.
That was hilarious. I also forgot to mention, after the last letter, but before I started Alchemize, there was this little tiny window where I had a Kickstarter that I had joined, and I forgot to check whether I received the book or not. I'm really bad at backing Kickstarters and then forgetting to actually make sure I get sent the book, because I do the ebooks. So I finally got it, and it's called Time Traders by Eli Donovan. And honestly, I have no idea why I DNF'd this book, but there was just something off because the concept basically is future Earth. Time travel is a normal thing, and like people do it to study different time periods. They have these things called time guards, because sometimes people will try to go back in time and like try to assassinate Hitler or something and try to change history. And the time guards kind of keep order. And she's a paleontologist who just came off a scandal because her husband was poaching dinosaurs. And she didn't know it. And people don't believe that. But she's finally got permission to go back, study more dinosaurs. So she's going to head back. I think her love interest was supposed to be one of the time cops. And this whole scene was like the time machine area is like an airport is how it's structured. And so you have people walking around in Renaissance outfits, and then you have people dressed up as the Third Reich from, Nazi Germany. And so you have all kinds of historical people coming in and out, and they were getting ready to go. And for some reason, somewhere in that sequence, they lost me, and something just felt like I cannot read this anymore. And I don't know what it was. It got a little woke too, and so there was just a bunch of woke stuff just like too soon, just kind of like thrown at the wall. And then it was just like I started reading Alchemized, so I don't know why I DNF'd it. But I love dinosaurs and I love time travel, so it's one of those books that should have.
Is it one of those things that it like the different things you said you felt like just kind of was thrown in there? If they would have sprinkled it throughout the book, would it have kept you from DNFing it, you think?
Maybe. That's the part I kind of liked. I don't know. I think it was, for me, if I'm being honest, just like I did not expect the woke stuff at the last minute, and then there was a lot of like I guess it was like a lot of not the characters from other historical places thrown at, but it was kind of just like a lot and no explanations. Like one of the things was, I guess she got onto one guy because he brought peaches or something, and she's like, you're such a idiot, you can't bring peaches back, but it never told us why you can't bring peaches or fruit, or it might have been food. It didn't explain whether it was just the peaches was the problem or food and you can't bring food back in general or what. So then she's trying to pass out all these peaches or whatever they were. I don't even know if they were peaches or oranges or whatever they were. She's trying to pass this fruit out so they can eat it and get done with it before they get to their time machine, but it never explained why. And so it's kind of just like a lot of things thrown in there with no explanation. And then the main girl has an attitude, and I'm just like, and then I could not finish.
There's one that I had to set aside. Which one was it?
When the Moon Hatched.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had to set that one aside because I was coming off of Helena from Alchemized, and she has literally the exact opposite personality, and
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm not in the mindset to read
Yeah.
this. And it's like, and then I went to, honestly, A Fate Inked in Blood felt like the perfect balance of like attitude. Like she was skilled and she knows that she was skilled, but she's not in your face insulting you every moment because she knows that she's good. You know what I'm saying? It was a good balance.
Yeah.
And I liked her. She has a
Mhm.
really good personality for like being like a skilled warrior, but not being in your face about it. It was
Yeah, I
that's a good
can agree.
example of that.
I like that.
Same thing with Silver
Right.
Elite. They both did a really good job of having a skilled there's only one moment in Silver Elite which feels like it has like a mirrored scene in Hunger Games where it kind of got a little cocky,
Level
but I'm
attitude.
just like a little
Yeah.
bit of an attitude, but it wasn't to the point where I just couldn't read it. And it was gone.
Yeah.
And it was done. So I'm like,
Mhm.
but it's
We've
like,
gotten too used to Sarah J. Maas and other writers who are like Sarah J. Maas-esh, like where
yeah.
they're kind of not really copying her, but like
Yeah.
doing that kind of
And I
thing
just feel
with the
like
strong
sorry, my blanket's
attitude.
falling. Okay.
You're fine.
But I don't
It's
know.
so
I feel
fun.
like the newer the Sarah J. Maas book, the more it feels like it's just dumping all of that on me. And I'm glad she's taking several years because I need a break from that. Because it just feels like the last handful of characters that I've read about from her all have the copy and paste personality, and it just
Mhm.
I can't do it anymore.
I can understand that.
So
So,
I'm glad. I know a lot of people are like screaming in frustration because it's taking her so long. I'm actually relieved that it's taking her so long because I want her
mhm.
to actually write a character that's not copy and paste but erase a few things to make it different.
Right.
Um,
I can get that.
and that's how like I feel like towards the end Nesta was like that, Bryce is like that. Towards the end of Throne of Glass, Aelin was getting like that, but that's because Kingdom of Ash was written around the time of some of the other books. So it's like
It's like a mood
it's a
season.
newer era, and so it's like her newer writing style has a lot of those kind of characters in it, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
can we
Which,
not,
to be fair,
please?
I'm doing a sci-fi survivor now, so I can't really talk about moods because I just published my book literally called Survivor, and now I'm writing a sci-fi one. But I've never gotten to do tribes before.
No, but
I did; they were
it's
partners in
that's not what
Survivor.
I'm
So I'm
meaning.
like,
It's just
no, I know.
it's like one character out of the whole bunch, like the main female character out of the whole bunch on both of those stories, both of those books
Yes, I totally agree with you.
have
Yeah.
like are like and that's the thing is Bryce isn't like that at the beginning of the series of Crescent City. She's
It's
not
like
like
they
that.
grow, and neither was Aelin and I mean Nesta kind of was, but like it's like a
But
growing
that was
into the
Nesta's thing.
attitude.
Nesta's thing was she
Yeah,
was a bitter a-hole for a majority of it
Nesta
until we
was almost like a
realized her
reversal.
backstory of what was happening. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Is like she's a
Mhm.
reversal because she started off that way, but then she's
Mhm.
given a nice backstory and changes into something
Mhm.
different. Whereas I feel like with Aelin, because that's the
Yeah.
only one I can speak on, but maybe Bryce too. Like they
Mhm.
started off different, and then they actually end up becoming like that.
Yeah.
So I can totally get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like yeah, trying to make where you don't copy the same personalities and stuff. So especially with
Um
that particular type, it can rub people the wrong way. Me too. That's why I
so
needed a break after I finished Kingdom of Ash.
okay. Okay, last thing about Alchemized, before we
Hmm.
move on to like news. Well, I guess it is kind of moving on to news. Apparently, they made says the deal for Sinlin Yu's novel is believed to be one of the biggest in history for a new book's movie rights, not not adjusted for inflation. So I guess it's like might become a movie. One source said that the rights deal and outright purchasing expected 3 million. Another source says that the may deal may is one of the highest sums for a book's movie rights. So I guess it's like a book's movie, like it's the rights for it to become a movie
Oh,
is
yeah,
like high. Seven. Okay, it says
that's a lot.
Legendary pays 7 figures for alchemized book that begins life as Harry Potter fan fiction. So I guess it's like seven
That's
figures.
crazy.
And I'm just like, oh,
I
okay.
can't imagine writing a fan fiction and then rewriting it and then that just blows up and just becomes the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Like that's crazy. That
Yeah,
it's now
so,
its own thing.
um,
That is wacky.
yeah. Which, and I guess it was like at the end of the article, they were talking about like the fan fiction to like rewriting of the fan fiction. I guess the 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fan fiction. Um,
How did that?
okay, it's like an alternate, like
I
some fan fictions they do like an alternate universe style, so it's like
I guess.
modern
True.
times. Like I've seen a few of the um, Kylo Ren and Ray fan fictions are more modern times. That's where you get the love hypothesis was Kylo Ren and Ray fan fiction, like an alternate universe style fan fiction. Um, and that's one of them that I've read that I didn't
Right.
realize was a fan fiction originally until later. But I honestly almost prefer those kind of books become published novels because literally the only thing that's tying them to that fan fiction is the name of the character.
Mm-hmm. That is
Because
true, because then it's like, is it like you're just using the names of some characters, but the rest of it is all this unique
it's
idea, so
like
just
you're
change the
using
name,
it's
publish
almost
it,
like
if it's already your own.
yeah, it's almost like they're taking the name, the likeness, and the personality of the characters and then applying it to a more modern sense or a more, and it's like
Yeah, I can see
those
that.
stories seem almost easier to transition into a published novel, and that's where I'm just
'Cause they're
like
already different.
it surprised me at how independent Alchemist felt from Harry Potter
I
because
can't pick out
no, you
anything.
can't.
I mean, I've seen the movies, I haven't read the books, but like, I'm like,
Yeah. The magic system
this
is
doesn't
very
seem like
different,
it at
almost to the
all.
point where I would argue it's not really magic. And it's
It's not. It
like,
doesn't feel like it.
no, it's,
And like the world itself, like I could understand if it was structured like Harry Potter, but the whole world is like so the system of how the
yeah.
world is governed,
Mm-hmm.
like Harry Potter didn't like wasn't like a religious structure
No,
to the world.
no, it
And
wasn't.
Harry wasn't a part of a main family, like a main
Mm-hmm.
noble family
Yes,
that you know,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like you can pick
so this
out just based on the fact that he's like the good side's golden boy. That's the only tie that you see to Harry Potter.
yeah. Yeah, the rest of it was like he wasn't an orphan from a
Mm-hmm.
human world who came like it's like
Yeah.
he was from this prominent family who'd ruled for
Even,
generations when it was
even,
like the religious leaders.
Is it Caden? Kane? Is that his name? I forget. I've had so many
I
different
haven't
names
met
here
this
lately.
character yet.
Um,
I do not know who this character is. I've met a lot of
High
dead
Reeve.
people.
Okay, the High Reeve.
So
So the High Reeve that you meet in the story.
I was wondering if he was going to be a dude or if he was going to be another dead dude or a
No,
dude in a dead dude's body or a
that's
bad dude with a
the
goofy nose or
no.
something.
He's the main guy
Okay, that's what I
character
was
in the
wondering.
story.
I was like,
Yeah,
is he main dude
but
or because anytime somebody new comes in, I'm like, main dude?
no,
Nope, he's
okay,
ugly or he's wearing a
but
dead
like
guy's body, so it
even
can't be him.
even his like physical appearance has an explanation that pulls it away from Harry Potter. Like
I
his image.
He just wants me to read Silver Elite, and I think she's about to be taken to the High Reeve, so I'm like, how can I? This is the interesting part. Maybe potentially.
I think you're
Okay,
going
that's a
to
later problem.
I think with Silver Elite it's going to be easier for you to read more than a page, so you're going to get invested into it. Plus,
That
I
makes
need
sense.
your thoughts on Silver Elite. I need to know what you think about
Okay,
it. And
yeah,
so yeah. So I kind
that's
of
funny.
need you. I kind of really, really want you to read Silver Elite. And I know that
I
eventually you're
got
going to
you.
go back and read Alchemized
Yeah,
because the
imagine
heaviness.
that being my first read of 2026. It's just 1,010 pages. We're starting
Woo!
2026 strong.
Well, and it's like you'll get through Silver Elite quick enough that it'll be easier to transition into the books that are getting ready to come out
Hmm.
too.
Yes, so that will be exciting. I will do it. Okay,
Yes.
I'm making it
Okay,
a thing.
cool.
Yeah. All right. I can't guarantee I won't DNF it, depending on what
I know.
happens.
I know.
But
That's
I
what I'm
will.
thinking.
I'm
Is
gonna
like you
try
might
to.
end up DNFing it. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it
Okay,
that bad to where I
it's got
wanted to
all the
DNF it at
vibes I
all.
like.
Like
Um,
it kept me
and
like
hey,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's like the style of writing or if it's like the atmosphere of the story kept me invested. I don't know if it was because it felt It felt Hunger Games Divergent.
Yeah.
It felt like
Which,
that for me. And so I'm like,
uh-huh.
I haven't read this in
It could
ages.
fit
I
my
really
mood
kind of
though,
like this.
because
Yeah.
yeah, since I'm writing a sci-fi version of Survivor, which naturally mimics Hunger Games just because the nature of it,
Yeah.
it's a mood. So I could potentially, it could fit my mood very well. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm living in my writing my right now.
Yeah.
Like writers can relate. Like when you're writing a story, it's like
When you
your
find
first
something that's
crush in high
similar.
school. You never want to stop thinking about this thing. It's so hard to get your
Yeah.
head out of it. It is like
Mm-hmm.
you're living and breathing your novel for a while, so you feel crazy, but that's okay. So it could fit my mood, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I was even pulling some interesting tidbits from Alchemized. I was like, it felt similar. But anyways, that's yeah. So I'm definitely gonna pause. It'll be interesting. I'm scatterbrained everywhere.
It's all right.
Um, so I know one of the things I keep getting hot, taking the thing off, and then I'm like, it's off. So then I get cold because the temperature in here is freezing.
Yeah.
I think I get hot as I get excited and I just talk a lot. And so
Yeah.
that's what's happening here. Okay. So I actually had this interesting, I don't want to call it a controversy because there's nothing controversial in it, but
Okay.
there was an author that got mad and
Okay.
everybody agreed with her and me did, but it does involve readers. And so it's kind
Okay.
of this
Cool.
interesting topic.
All right.
So I guess I didn't know this feature existed on Kindle, but apparently in the Kindle app, you can report typos in books.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
And
cool.
it will actually, I did not. It sounds cool, but here's the kicker. It on the one hand, it allows authors to fix them. On the other, it actually will flag the book as quality. And so if you get too many flags, then KDP will remove your book from Kindle and you will have no choice about it. So
Okay. So my
essentially,
next question, can it get added back on? That's my question. Can you fix it and add it
that's
back
the
on?
thing, I don't know. But here's the thing. In this particular case, this author had made an anthology, so multiple stories, short stories with a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
different authors, and it's a free anthology. So
Mm.
the person did not even pay for this book,
Yeah.
and they're not using it for typos. They're using it for like editing style critiques that are
Oh.
more just opinionated. And in
Yeah.
this case, she screenshotted all of them. And as an editor, she's wrong. And a lot of the people in the comments can back me up and confirm this. Like her suggestions are actually not correct editing fixes anyway.
Mm.
She's fixing them in an
Yeah.
incorrect way, but she thinks that she's right.
Yeah.
Um, like one of the lines, lifted my nose for a chin scratch, comma, which she obliged giving. And she wanted to change it to which she obliged gave.
No, that's wrong.
That doesn't make sense. Like it
That
has to
doesn't
be
even sound
ing.
right.
Yeah, and then several was like racking my brain. Like it spelled with a W. She kept insisting you spell it with an R, and I'm like, that's the wrong kind of rack, honey. It's racking with a W.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept getting flagged to the point where it's reported by the reader, and I don't know if hers was actually um taken down.
What was
Let me
it called?
see. Free download. She's not saying what the title is of the book.
Oh. Because we'll probably look it up on Amazon to see if it's available.
I was thinking that. Yeah, she didn't say the title of the book. And I'm looking in the comments, but you could probably, because I know the author, so I could probably find it on Amazon.
What was her name?
H.L. Burke. I did H.J. instead of L.
Okay.
Thomas Claus and Magic Tales, the Fellowship of Fantasy
I bet.
Anthologies. That's one anthology.
I bet that's
Let me see. She had 419 Amazon ratings with 4.3 star average.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, because it's
Claus,
free
Claus, and
on
Magic Tales.
Kindle. Yeah, that must be it.
Yeah. So it's got 4.3 stars. And it's number 2 in fantasy anthologies and number 4 in contemporary fantasy. So, but yeah, so I thought, I didn't even know this was like an aspect of Kindle.
No, I didn't.
And she said that she will be reporting most of these comments for improper use of the system.
Yeah.
Is I guess what we can do on our end. But I was like, that's
honestly, I feel like I feel like this is just another example of Amazon releasing all of these different features, but not fully working them through to the benefit of the author. Like, okay,
Yeah, I think
as
everything's
from
being
from a reader perspective, I would absolutely love if I could call like authors out that refuse to put actual time into editing their stories, like the lazy authors that don't take time to genuinely edit their work, and they just take the way it's written when they start it as gospel because that's how they want it. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of authors that like won't actually
or
send
like
it to an editor,
or
they'll use their editors as suggestions rather than be like, okay, I actually genuinely need to take their advice and need to fix some of these things. Like I'm just going off of like I think the way I love the way you and Heather do it, how you send it to her, she makes these really in-depth edits, you go through, adjust things. If you feel like it's not like more of a story plotline detail that you want to keep, then you keep it because at the end of the day you're the author. But there's a lot of like the editing bits that you will actually take seriously, and you'll go through and you'll fix things and adjust things and that kind of thing. But then there are some authors that I feel like we've talked about a handful of them with different controversies and
stuff.
stuff.
There was one on TikTok that was this huge controversy.
Yes, and so I like the concept of calling those authors out, or the authors that publish things before it is published ready, and it's almost painful to read. It's like they need to be called out on that kind of thing. Like, if you're going to be an author, part of being an author and publishing your work is getting it edited. That's part of how it works. And so I like being able to call authors out on that, because let's be honest, not all authors do that. Not all authors edit their books genuinely 100%. To make it presentation ready. And even published authors don't always do that correctly. There's a handful of like editing errors even in like the published author world. So I like the feature. One, I wish that there would have been, I wish there's some kind of barrier, like, then this would be like a proper use of AI, having like an AI filter that goes through and reads the edits and determines if it's if it's a proper editing fix, or if it's something that's incorrect, and having some sort of filter. So it's like they could submit something, but it may not actually go through based on what the suggestion is. Or having a team of people that go through and read these things to determine if that's an appropriate editing suggestion or if it's not. Because in that case, a lot of this one girl, the girl that was doing that, a lot of her stuff, you know, if they'd had like a filter or like a series of filters there, it would have gotten caught. It wouldn't have went through. And so then the author wouldn't have had this issue of, well, now I'm getting kicked out of this program. My book's getting pulled from this program, or it's threatening to be pulled out of this program because of all of the flags that I'm getting, these improper flags that I'm getting. And so it would have solved that issue. But again, Amazon doesn't care. So
they just add a feature and then they'll think about the consequences without testing whether it works or not. Like the beta they did for the AI voice narration for audiobooks. I think it was at the book signing that somebody told me that it was awful. Like it's no emotion whatsoever.
You can tell it's AI.
Yeah, it was just like awful. So, but yeah. So that's, I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Because here, when I read on my Kindle, I'm highlighting every editing mistake I find just because I can't shut it off. And with the ability to actually say something about it, but it's like in my private notes. And so I'm like, I wonder if any author actually wants those notes, because I'm giving them free editing at this point because I can't stop myself. So that would be nice for, like you said, some of the messier books, or like some of the books that we heard about how they left the AI prompt in there. I'm like, did you not read the book before you published the dang thing?
Yeah.
Like, even a read through for yourself, person, like, really.
Yeah.
So that was my first article.
2 out of my 3 things that I was going to mention are about Fourth Wing, so I'll save those and do those together. One thing I did see. The author, there's a movie related one there, but I'll save that for the end. Okay, the author of the Goosebumps author, R.L. Is it Stein or Stive? I can't read my handwriting. The Goosebumps are like middle-aged young adult, like horror, like type. Like, if that's your kind of genre growing up, if you liked the gory mystery like type things, you read the Goosebumps. I didn't like that kind of stuff, so I never read it. But it's Stein, R.L. Stein. He's the guy that wrote all of the Goosebumps novels. So he mainly wrote horror, children's books, mystery, and thriller. Apparently, he's writing an adult novel. I don't know the details, but I'm like, for all the fans of the Goosebumps series, Goosebumps books, the Goosebumps author,
we're now grown up.
We're now grown up and adults. He's writing an adult novel, so I don't know the details, and it doesn't show anything.
Genre.
Yeah, maybe we'll check his website and see if I can see anything, if he's posted anything. Okay. Come and see him. So in the fall, it says Book Bites. Okay. Let me look and see. News? Maybe it's under news. My frightening new graphic novel. So it looks like some of the Goosebumps books are getting graphic novels, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's on Twitter.
Sounds like fun.
I don't know. I saw it in an interview. It was in an interview that he had done. Where he said that that he was going to write an adult novel. So
that's so much fun, though. That's exciting.
Yes, it is exciting.
For people who were fans of him, I'd be curious to see what genre and stuff.
Yeah, I wish I had details on, like, the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, there's clips from an interview where he was talking about, he said, the secret is making it scary, secret to making it scary is close point of view with your main character. Almost all of my books are first person. It's so much scarier to be in the protagonist's head. Your reader is right with it, and the reader is experiencing the horror close up. So I'm like,
Yep.
I know they were strange. They were like, I was never much of a horror. Like, the extent of my horror experience is Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Like, I don't like horror stuff too much. Like, the scary jump scary horror stuff, I'm not a big fan of. The suspense, I'm not a big fan of that. Just because it makes me anxious. But yeah, so I never read them in school because I didn't like that kind of stuff. But if that's for you,
yeah,
he's making a new one.
The extent of mine was the scariest one when I was a kid was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Oh my god! Okay,
was terrifying.
The movie, the episode that freaked me out the most was Scooby-Doo. It was literally an episode from the first season. I'm pretty sure it's the very first episode. No, it wasn't the very first episode. It was the one where it was the puppet, and they were on the theater stage. Oh my god, that movie freaked me. That episode freaked me out.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I don't remember that.
So
that's crazy.
Puppet on stage. It was like they had like this dog, this puppet dog. It's called the Backstage Rage, I think. Maybe. Yeah, and it was like Scooby and Shaggy are walking down, and this car stops, and there's like this violin case with money in it, and they see this dog that's hurt, and so they try to go help this dog, and it's like this dog puppet thing, and they're like running around backstage at night at this like play theater, and oh my god, it's freaky. We'll have to watch it one day if you haven't seen the episode. It's like literally the one that freaks me out of all the Scooby-Doo episodes. That's the one that I almost couldn't watch because it freaked me out, because it's like suspense. Like, you don't know, for some reason it's like you don't know what, like, at each turn you don't know what's gonna happen, and it's like this play theater, like this theater at night, and I'm just like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
love that.
I don't know how I got
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Oh yes,
it was a movie. Yeah, and it was like the scariest one for me. And the monsters are real. That was like this time the monsters are real was like the tagline.
Yeah.
The ending of that was like, and so to this day we watch it almost every year on Halloween just because that's our tradition. But that was like, And then when I was in middle school, I watched the Mummy movies, and that was the extent of my scary stuff, which I actually have some fun news about the Mummy movies, which was a nice little transition there.
That's the one I was going to mention at the end, too. I know! I'm so excited.
Oh, these movies. So, for those of you who don't know, it was Brendan Fraser and
they're bringing back the original girl, Rachel Weisz. Yeah. Yes. They're bringing back the original girl, which I'm like,
first two, and then the third one they had to get a different actress besides her, and they shifted from Egypt to China, and so a lot of people didn't like the third movie. It was okay. It wasn't like the best, and we obviously missed Rachel, and then it kind of just like, you know, they didn't make any more. So Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back for the Mummy 4, which I think I heard that the Arabic guy that became their friend now as an adult, he's kind of fine. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't care, but like now I'm like, he's a fine looking man.
It cracks me up when I think about like my my crushes from like these old movies, and looking back on it now, I'm looking at like the dads now, and I'm like, okay, all right. Like, I look at Carlisle, like, when I'm
Skywalker, when he was a boy, and then like, now it's like...
Yes. Oh my god, and I'm like... Or it's like, looking, like, when we watch Twilight, I'm paying more attention to Carlisle than I am anybody else. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Carlisle or Jasper? Like, Jasper will always be my baby. I love him so much. I love his backstory and everything, and I'm just like,
Or it's like Jacob in my case, and now maybe I'd be looking at Jacob's dad, like, okay, Mr. Black? Jacob Black.
Or like, Sam. I don't know, or Sam, because he was the oldest out of the bunch.
Or Sam, because he's the oldest.
God. That's funny.
Yeah. Like, or the other one that really gets me and I feel old is if I agree with the parents. Like, if there's a teenager or a kid and they're arguing and I'm like taking the mom or dad side, I'm like, I look at Michael, I'm like, I'm old, aren't I? And he's like, yes, you are.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So he's coming back. The Arab guy's coming back, and I was like, man, that's exciting. So I was just really excited about that, and I feel like the fans of the Mummy kind of need it because we had kind of like a...
Well, and he's had kind of like a resurrection within Hollywood too, which is really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And like really cool to see. I remember like the first movie that kind of with him coming back into the scene was called The Whale, and it was like... It was a very different style of movie, but it was honestly like there were times where it was pretty emotional, and it was just like... I don't know, it really kind of kickstarted. Yeah, it was kind of a different, but it really kind of kickstarted his kind of like return to Hollywood kind of thing. Okay, I have two different Fourth Wing things. So there was so there was an interview that Rebecca did here recently where somebody in the crowd said, don't kill Riddick in the crowd, and people took a picture of her face when she heard somebody say that, and they're putting all of these horrible like clips like, oh no, like, oh no, like these different like, what is this face in? Yeah, I'll send it to you, because it's like they're thinking of like, what is her face, like, what does her face mean, what is this face, like, what did you do, Rebecca? And then there's like they'll pull up from the originals where it'll be like Rebecca, and they'll have like clips like Rebecca. And I'm just like, oh my god. And mixed with the comments that she said in the past about sometimes the funniest characters have the saddest backstory, or have the saddest bits they're going through, and
oh my god,
her talking about Riddick with that, and I'm just like, I'm fully convinced, I'm prepared for him to die in this book. I am going to be prepared, because I thought he was going to die in the last book, and she kind of teased it and it didn't happen, and I'm like, yeah. So All right.
And see, as a writer, I could see all the signs pointing to her killing Riddick because in the last book, and that's what I thought was going to happen because he started becoming more and more important. And I'm like, usually you do that if you're going to kill a character because you want us to get attached first. And so the fact that she didn't kill him in Onyx Storm means that she was holding out to potentially kill him in another one. And so I'm just like, So what's your next Fourth Wing one?
Okay. It is a theory. Sorry, I was.
Okay. You're fine.
My grandma is coming. She had to go to the ER for a second, and so my mom. Okay. So her blood pressure was like over 200 at one point, and that's why they went to the ER. But okay. So it was a fan theory. And so this particular was by Emma Loves Reading on TikTok. And she said Xaden married Violet because Venom don't attack people they love! ! Question mark. In one of the books that Violet was reading about Venom, a Venom attacked an entire village, and the only 3 people that survived were his kids and his wife. And then somebody in the comments said, what if other Venom can't harm a person a fellow Venom has claimed, so he married her so the other Venom can't harm her?
Yeah. I mean, I know it had the political reasoning, but I feel like there's multiple reasons why he married her.
And, like, I'm wanting to say there was another comment. Cool. Yeah, and the comment right below that one said, and what if he needs the ring to recognize her? And, like, they used the concept of him seeing the ring and recognizing the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he gets to that point where he's, like, gone, like, he's that far into it that that's the only thing that he recognizes. It's like,
I'm like, I love this stuff though. Like, where would we be without bad boys? Good boys turning bad, like.
Yes.
Anakin.
I blame Anakin Skywalker for this.
I blame Anakin Skywalker.
He was the beginning.
It was the beginning. I love all the book talk, like the bookstagram people, like discovering Anakin and Padme, and I'm like,
yes.
Hello, me.
Yes.
Like, I get credit.
We liked it before it was cool.
Yes. So mine actually kind of bounces off of that.
Okay.
Where this is a quote from Rebecca Yaros, and she said, if you aren't ready for Xaden's villain era, maybe put book 4 down and wait for book 5.
Ooh, I did see that one, and I'm like, oh, okay. Which is kind of what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for her to have, like, that devastation of him being a genuine enemy, and not just some, like, fake enemy.
Like,
yes.
Going down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We need that. It's like how they needed Onyx Storm to build the emotional connection a little bit,
and
it's
to
like
build
now
the world
a
little bit.
Era.
Because, like, I liked that. Okay, I know a lot of people were confused about the other continents. One, she said she didn't include the other continents and the other places in the map because it would, quote, give away too many spoilers.
It would have. There was everywhere they went. There was a big plot twist with what it was.
Yeah.
And also, like,
and
the
I
final
honestly,
one being the dragons.
Mm-hmm. And so I honestly, like, not only spoilers for that book, but I feel like future books. I feel like she's going to get more and more. She's going to expand it more and more into epic fantasy style, and that includes having, like, I don't know. It makes me think of, like, Kingdom of Ash, where you have multiple continents of people, multiple groups of people coming together to fight. Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I'm
excited to see where she takes it, to be honest.
People that are, I feel like it's romantic people that are used to the very surface level romantic world building coming into more of an epic fantasy without thinking about what that genre is normally like.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, try reading Lord of the Rings and then come back and tell me that Rebecca Yaros wrote like, it's not at all complex.
And that's why... And that's why Onyx Storm felt so awkward at times, or felt like like there were so many questions left unanswered. At least for me, it felt like there's a lot of questions that were left unanswered, and that's because she's expanding from a romantasy into an epic fantasy. It's that transitional
And
book.
it's also the middle.
And, yes.
Yeah.
And it is the middle of the
It's a
story, so you're not going to
transitional
have
middle
every question answered. And I had to come to terms with that, and it's like, that's where I had to be like, okay, this is why. And I kind of honestly, I know I've read Fourth Wing at least twice now. I kind of want to read it again, just so I can go in with the expectation that it's going to world build, because I was wanting answers, and that's what I was expecting of Onyx Storm was answers, and I didn't get any of the answers to the questions that I had. And so it's like I went in with a completely different expectation, and so now that I have the right expectation, I just want to go into it and just look for the
and read.
Yes,
For the
and
fun
just
stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
All right.
So, did you have any more?
Nope, that was it.
I have some more. Okay, so I won't beat this bush anymore because you and I have talked about this topic a lot, but I saw it and reminded me of you. So it was a picture of like, it was kind of like a meme where it was like, about who they chose for Snape, and it had like the actor that they chose, but like, photoshopped into costume as Snape, and then next to it it said Adam Driver would make a brilliant Snape, and it had a picture of Adam Driver as Snape.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, he would have been perfect when you look at the picture. And then it was like HBO, and then it was like their choice, but I was just like, I never thought about Adam Driver.
Oh yeah.
But like he was
literally the fan choice. Like literally every person in the fandom was wanting him. And HBO and whoever is making this series decided to be completely detached from the rest of the fandom and just make somebody else. No offense to the guy that they've hired. I'm sure he's an amazing actor. And I'm curious to see and I'm curious to see, honestly, it's not him or his acting that I'm worried about. It's literally Harry and how Harry comes off and how James Potter comes off as. I'm not I'm not worried about his acting. I'm not worried about him pulling off the of Snape, because he'll do great, I'm sure. And I'm sure they wouldn't have hired him if he didn't sound like Snape in the auditions. That's my thing. It's like, I'm sure if he didn't if he didn't sound remotely like Snape, they wouldn't have hired him. I'm sure. I hope. But it's like, my thing is, they're going to make racism a problem when it was never a problem to begin with. It was blood status that was the problem. Blood status was Harry Potter's version of racism. And that's why they picked on him, because he was a Slytherin whose house was majority purebloods, and he was a half-blood. And James's issue had nothing to do with that, but it was because Snape hung out with the girl that James liked. But they're going to it's literally set up to be a racism problem. And it was never a racism problem to begin with. Like, I had to go back and actually look into go back and do research to figure out there are a lot of like Asian descent, African American type characters in Harry Potter, but I had to actually go back and research that, because she never made race a big issue. They were all just kids learning magic. It was more about houses and blood status. It was never about the color of their skin. Ever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now they're making it a problem. And I'm just like, how are we being progressive and moving forward when you're putting this problem into a series when it never existed to begin with? Sorry, I will get off my soapbox. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
Okay.
That is my TED Talk for today.
So I just saw that, thought of you. I didn't know he was the fan choice. I just, when I saw it, I thought that he would make a good one, and I kind of just agreed, so I had to bring that up.
Yeah.
Next, this one surprised me, and at least I feel like I have a word to validate my book interests.
Okay.
So you ready for this?
All right.
All right. Here's the word. Tromantasy. Trauma, romance, and fantasy. Tromantasy.
Tromantasy. Oh my god. Like, that's funny. I like that.
I feel validated. So, at its core, trauma plus romantasy. It's fantasy fiction, often romantasy, that dives into psychological wounds, grief, abuse, recovery, using magic, gods, and mythical landscapes as a metaphors for emotional healing, pain, and transformation.
I like that. Yeah.
It's not about trauma for shock factor. It's about how trauma reshapes the self. They usually don't just survive, they metamorphosize.
Yeah.
Magic often mirrors their wounds. Romantasy is a slow erosion of becoming something that survives no matter how the transformation may be seen. And I would argue that for Christian authors like me and my other friend, Angela, we've been talking a lot about this and how it's like God healing your trauma, but it's done in a fantasy setting because that's like safe and healing, and it like makes so much sense why I'm attracted to like trauma type stories in books. Yeah. And I'm like, I kind of like that explanation, so I saved that because she has multiple sides and goes a lot deeper into it, and she gives some examples that I didn't recognize, but I was like, okay. So most of my feed has been filled with Quicksilver stuff and like, or Brimstone stuff. And like, she has these teasers that she actually filmed with like real actors, but she overlays it with the audiobook. So we have Kingfisher's voice. And I cannot stop squealing. Okay. There was one where it was like Ceres and Kingfisher together and he talked. There's another one that has a skull in the middle of a sandy desert. Ooh. And I don't remember, I can't play the audio, so I don't know what Kingfisher's saying, but it had Kingfisher's voice overlaid on top of it, and then it showed Quicksilver. And I'm like, what does this mean? I need to know what this means. That was from, it was 21 days until Brimstone's release, is when she
what was
posted
her
that
name again?
2 weeks ago. Callie Hart. And so you may have to scroll to find that one. And then it was like a burned man rising out of the brimstone at the very end of the clip. And I'm like, what does this mean? Kingfisher gonna get brimstoned? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Just wait till the last clip and you see the brimstone. I'm gonna have to listen to the audio of it after this is over, but
okay.
I know. So she's been posting a lot of little things like that. I've been obsessed. I keep fangirling. It's like a countdown to Brimstone, and I'm here for it. It's like, I'm here. And then there was somebody who posted a Fantasy Fangirls pod, posted a Quicksilver study guide, and I actually read through it, and it refreshed my memory on the whole book. So it's like really quick. They covered everything, and so it goes over everything that you're gonna need in order to. I just sent it to your Instagram, or I will as soon as it lets me send it. Hi, I had to type a message with it. I was like, hi.
I see it.
Yeah, but it every detail that you need to know about the world, the characters, the plot.
Cool. That's
it's a refresher. So I like that it was 15 days until Brimstone when they posted it a week ago. Ultimate recap, and they gave Callie Hart, they tagged her in it, gave her credit, but I appreciate that they took the effort to put it together. So there was a lot of work. So shout out to Fantasy Fangirls Pod on Instagram.
I like that.
It was really helpful to me. So because I wanted to reread the book before it comes out, but I don't think that's going to happen. So and then in line with Callie Hart, this was 5 days ago, she posted on Threads and she goes, someone asked me how I'm doing right now, go on, with like the emoji that has the sweat face, and it's like over caffeinated, overstimulated, nerve shot, living my best life. And I'm like, you poor author girl, like what are you going through right now? So I loved that. So Survivor, my book comes out tomorrow. I just wanted to throw that in. It's Survivor, Survivor the TV show, but Deadly meets the Hunger Games. So could be similar to Silver Elite. We don't know yet. I haven't read it yet. So it's really intense. It comes out tomorrow.
I would say it's not like that. Like they're not competing to the death. In Quicksilver, they're not competing they're not competing against each other and getting voted off kind of thing. Not really. They're not in a ring. It's not in an arena or anything. That's where it
Okay,
felt
so
more
it's
like
not equivalent to Hunger Games in that
it
sense.
felt
It's the
it felt
dystopian
that's where
society.
like that's where the Divergent bit comes in because they're in like an academy type setting.
Okay, like the Fourth Wing Divergent kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool. But yeah, so I wanted to mention that. And then there's another controversy that happened that I saw on Instagram that was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mostly because it's interesting because I'm outside the drama.
Mm-hmm.
So this one woman, author, I think it's an I or an L, C.E. Merson. So I don't know if it's an I or L, but this person, this author had not said anything for many years and didn't want to stir up drama, but she met this other author at the beginning of last year, and they read each other's stories essentially, and she sent her 8 full pages of feedback for the other author's story that was detailed, constructive, and then the other author's behavior shifted, and then this author posted a reel that went viral, and it was the trope where the main male character kneels for the female character, and it's a classic fan favorite, you know, in romantic kind of reels, and it went big, but every person accused her of copying the other author. The other author's name is Katie, just for reference, and so, but Katie ended up blocking her on Instagram instead of standing up for her, and so that didn't squelch the rumors.
Yeah.
And so her book, Heirs of the Cursed, has been written long before I ever met her.
Yeah.
Long before they ever met. So she wrote it long before then. And so it was kind of like a bunch of drama where like this other author kind of like didn't shoot the rumors down and made no effort to try to stand up for her, and kind of would make these cryptic messages on social media almost like just to keep the rumors going. She, like, her entire life and career could be neatly swept under the rug if she just played along with it. And so she agreed to do a live stream to kind of hash out the issue at one point, but the Katie kind of broke her promise. They never went live. They never hashed everything out. Damage was done. Readers blocked her, authors blocked her, artists and cosplayers blocked her. People that she admired and wanted to work with only saw Katie's version of the story and like refused to work with her. So they just basically took Katie's word for it, took the rumors, and never got this author's side of the story. So she lives in a third world country. She can barely afford written and publishing, so she can't really get lawyers because Katie claimed that they sold an NDA to never speak about it, and it was her idea and that lawyers were involved, but like she's never could afford a lawyer anyway, so that's a flat out lie. So it was like all this drama. And I feel like it's kind of like at the point where sometimes it gets a little ridiculous when it's like, oh, this person's copying this person, and it's like all ideas come from each other and came from somewhere. You're never going to find an idea that, and so the witch hunt like seems like it's getting a little far, especially when you do have authors who write fan fictions and then turn around, rewrite them, and publish them. It's like, why are you not going after those people?
Considering 90% of the fantasy books, the fantasies genre you could argue copied off of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean,
if we're playing this game, if we're playing this game, I mean, all of these tropes where all of these strong, cocky, attitude-y female characters, all these authors copied off of somebody. I don't know what series started it, whether it was Sarah J. Maas or what else.
A handsome guy with black hair, tan skin, tattoos, who's bad, ends up falling in love with the main girl.
And has some type of shadow ability.
With a shadow ability. Yep. Who am I talking about? We could name at least 3 different guys that fit that from different authors and series. So.
Yep.
I mean, it's hot, so what can you say? Like, I'm not gonna love the trope. That's why it's a trope.
Unless the author has a scene that's almost word for word the same as another author they didn't copy.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of like you were describing that scene because you told me specifically what that scene was in Silver Elite, where it's literally the same setup and the same reason behind the scene, like like the details are different, but like that's where things get a little sketchy. So that's kind of a good example of what you were talking about. So
I would say I wouldn't go so far to say that Silver Elite copied off of Hunger Games, because there's enough different that it's not the same story. But there are
Yeah.
certain things where I'm like, this scene should have been changed or taken out, or you should have done it differently.
Yeah,
You
I can see
know?
that. So,
Yeah.
hmm but that's everything I had. So,
Yes. All right. Well, let us know what you guys are reading, and are there any
yep,
new
and I will be
like
bringing the silver release.
yes. And let us know if there's any like new releases coming up in like December or January that you're looking forward to. I know I was thinking the other night that I'm getting closer and closer to not having like books from like, oh, I really want to read that. You know, like I have this and I've never read it before and I really want to read it. Like there's some things where I'm just like, I have like books like Dune. I have it. I'm just not in the mood to read it at all. And there's like I'm slowly
Yeah.
running out of books that I'm like, oh, I've been really, really, really wanting to read this. And so I'm like,
hmm I
even
think
though
Brimstone was the last major release that we were excited for this year that I'm aware of. So I
yeah.
can, yeah, I can
I
totally
know
see that. But
I was really anticipating that Darth Vader book and then I completely forgot about
we
it.
were, yeah,
But yeah, so if there's any
I'm excited.
new book releases and stuff that you guys are looking forward to, or if there's like a series in fantasy that you feel like really deserves attention and it's not getting attention, let us know. And I was looking into that
Yeah.
too, like like dystopian series, like or like fantasy series that's like established, that's really good, that's really kind of underrated. So let us know.
Yeah, and if there's any controversies in bookish
Yes.
news that you want us to cover
Yes.
topics like that, let us know as well.
Yeah,
We
for
love to
sure.
cover that stuff. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. See
Bye.
you next time. Bye.